within the government. There is support from all sectors, but those sectors also needs to be supported and somehow given with the concrete action plans also, with concrete tools also, how really this can be taken forward. So we thought that in order to facilitate government's goodwill and then even facilitate government's commitment, which government is will make definitely tomorrow in outcome document it will come, but already the recommendation which government got from different countries on gender-based violence, government has to commit, and then the government has to come out with some kind of concrete outcome. We thought that if we can really develop the action plan and then give the government, then things can move forward.
How can we balance both so that we don't go to the long-term strategies and forget that the women need to live in the now but not in the future?
ISIS Week in particular has been documenting women's experiences in situations of armed conflict. And so far, we talk about a wealth of 6 in-depth studies in Uganda, Southern Sudan, Liberia, and now with Worec in Nepal. But we have also partnered with women in different countries that are in armed and post-conflict settings, and we have so far documented 112 case studies on issues of sexual and gender-based violence. And it's with this wealth that we thought that we would come to this meeting and talk about the international level realities of sexual violence against women and how women have fitted into all this. And therefore we find that from our own studies, sexualized violence against women in peace times, in situations like post-conflict times in Nepal, is a mere extension of violence against women in armed conflict settings. So you might find that the violence that we are witnessing in Nepal today comes from the many experiences of armed violence which were never dealt with, so we are dealing with consequences, where we are now even having higher levels of domestic violence.
We have recommended that the legal system should be redefined, reformulated. We have to work on the legal system so that we can recognize the issues of the victim and we can formulate the law from the victim's perspective. There are major 4 parts. One part is redefining justice, and we need to formulate newly law, and another part of support to survivors, another part of training, capacity building of judiciary system, and another part of to support some decentralized type of system should be in the community so that survivors can be supported.
I'm a bit aware of this research program because during the research I happened to get a chance to talk with the research group to share about the situation, problem, and challenges being faced by the women folks.
Tends to go in and say transitional justice do have a Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and here are the millions it will you need to set it up, without taking into account what it is that women are saying about it, particularly, and victims more generally. Now, our challenge today is to try and use all that information to do exactly what she was saying. How do you translate that into something which is a really concrete platform of action to take forward all those issues? We have to take into account the cultural perspectives. We need to take into account what the victims require, demand, and have rights to from their perspective. We need to look at access to justice in a broader sense, not just about formal justice mechanisms because of the problems inherent in that, but how do we fix the problems inherent in going to formal justice mechanisms? Because it's our justice too. It is not just there to service the state and those who operate the state. Justice for women is justice in the broader sense. So we need to make sure that the normative frameworks actually are useful for women and describe their experience and give them justice. We need to make sure in that case the procedures that we invoke are user-friendly to all, particularly exactly what we need to do. We need to make sure that women are working in a context which facilitates their participation, and that means looking at how do you live, how do you get educated, how do you get healthcare, how do you find housing, how do you claim your land rights.